Hey everyone, and welcome back to Swift Guitar Lessons for another Patreon Lick of the Week. Today I'm going to be breaking down for you a very cool Jimi Hendrix Voodoo Child inspired repetition lick. Now, repetition licks are those face-melting, really fast style licks that we use to stretch out our solos and also add a little bit of tension for our listeners. I'm going to have all the tabs available as usual at patreon.com/swiftlessons, where if you become a premium member, you can actually get extended cuts from these Lick of the Week lessons, grab a couple of extra licks, and some additional tabs. Now, let's get started with your lesson. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, close look at the fretboard, getting started with our Lick of the Week. A Hendrix-style repetition lick, very similar to the things that you can hear him do in Voodoo Child. So one more time, the lick sounds like this. And repetition licks are great for filling in the space in your solos, but also building the tension. The audience is very receptive to repetition, and it gives you, as the musician, an opportunity to throw in something that was unexpected, or to think about something else that you might want to do, such as moving into another position. Okay, so this is a lick that's coming from the blues scale in the key of E. Really, it's just pentatonic scale, but because I'm going to be showing a few extra licks for the premium members of the Patreon page, I'm going to be sharing with you the blues scale, which is a bit more useful. Okay, so that blues scale in the key of E, 12th fret, sounds like this. Alright, so that was 12 to 15, 12, 13, 14, 12, 14, 12, 14, 15, 12, 15, and 12, 15. Okay, and on your tab you'll notice that all of the roots are highlighted in red. Okay, so that's Blues 101 right there. So many different possibilities just laying and waiting in that scale. Okay, fantastic. Now that you have the source scale down, that E minor blues scale, we could jump into the Lick of the Week. One more time, real slow, the lick's gonna sound like this. And at full speed, okay, so that began by bending the G string 14th fret up a whole step to 16. Next we're going to have 12, 12 on the B and high E string with a bar. And that's a very, very common way of entering into a lick in the blues and also rock genre. After that we're going to get into our repetition cycle. So that was 15 on the B, a bend with the middle finger on the G string, and then your pointer finger is going to play the 12th fret of the B string. So 15, G string 14, with a bend, and 12th fret B string, nice and plain. Now how far you bend that 14th fret G string is up to you. It could be a half step or a full step. And how many times you repeat that cycle is up to you. It depends on what you need in your solo. And notice how my pick starts to alternate, especially as I start to get faster with it. Okay, so far we have. So on your tablature, I repeated that cycle 3 times. Then I'm going to finish it up with. Alright, very cool little ending to this lick. Just bending the 14th fret G string with the ring finger, returning, pulling off to the 12th fret, and then a vibrato on the 14th fret D string, which is highlighted in red, which means it's a root. That means that the lick resolves there. You put it all together and we have for your lick of the week. Okay, now moving into the extended cut of this lesson. We're gonna get into lick number 2, which is gonna sound like this. Okay, you can repeat that cycle as many times as you need. Now real slow. So that's me bending the 15th fret B string up a whole step to 17. Then I'm gonna play the 12th fret of the high E string, which is gonna be the same exact note. That will be followed by a pull off, 15 to 12 on the high E string. Then the whole thing repeats itself. So that little pull off is the end of the cycle. My pick's going down, up, down. Now you have to do this really slow, starting off. Maybe use a metronome just to kind of judge your speed and where you're at. Progressively. You can use that repetition lick to set up some really cool kind of Stevie Ray Vaughan style licks. Okay, so now we have lick number 1. Lick number 2. And now we're ready for lick number 3. Sounds like this, real slow. Okay, so this is probably the most complex of the 3, and I'm using hybrid picking just to make it a little bit more accurate. So I start off with this little repetition. Listen to that very closely. You gotta memorize the way something sounds. So that's kind of starting off the same way lick number 1 did. Bending the 14th fret G string, then 12-12 on the B and high E string. Then we're going to play 15 pulling off to 12. And that's your cycle. Now on the tab I did it 3 times. Okay. Now let's take a look at the right hand here. I'm down picking on that G string bend, down picking on that B string, then my middle finger is going to pluck the high E string. Then the pick goes back to the B string with the downstroke for the pull off. Now, whether or not you want to use your ring finger for the pull off or your pinky is up to you. My guess is that most people are going to be a little bit more comfortable with the pinky. However, you might want to do a bend after this. Kind of like Jimmy Page, 7-11. So I do recommend using the ring finger or at least being able to do both. Okay, now let's get the tail end of that lick. We have the repetition now. Next, we're gonna follow it up with this great little ending for the lick. Alright, so that was 15th fret of the G string. Then I'm going to do a pull off, 14 to 12 on the G string. Then I'll go to the root, 14th fret D string. Then I'm just going to bend that 12th fret G string, usually up a half step, kind of edging towards a full step, kind of in between those 2 notes. And that adds a lot of stress. Alright, I love that sound. So you put all that together and we have. One more. And if you want to, resolve, you can. Alright, fantastic. Now you have 3 very cool face melting repetition licks to fill in your solos. Congratulations. Alright everyone, thanks so much for checking out this lesson on a Jimi Hendrix repetition lick. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks so much to my supporters at patreon.com/swiftlessons for all your support. I hope you're enjoying the extra resources. I got many more lessons coming up, so keep checking back. Please subscribe, please share. This is Rob at Swift Guitar Lessons in Philadelphia saying happy picking. One, two, three, four.